So today, it's winter, and one of the things out here in the winter is the threat of hypothermia. Solar camping in the wintertime. Smart to go solo? Maybe. I would generally recommend that you take someone else with you. And the reason is, especially if you're in a colder climate, hypothermia is a real thing. And it's not even just in cold climates. You can get hypothermia in almost any kind of climate.
Yep, that's right.
So, be familiar with hypothermia, right? Know the signs. Whether you're by yourself or you're with a buddy, you can watch your buddy, you can watch each other. But if you're by yourself, you have to be especially aware of your body and what's going on, right? Hypothermia, how does it start? Well, it usually starts with your skin getting cooler. If it drops below 95 degrees is how they like to measure it. That's when the whole thing starts. After that, you might start shivering. And what that is when your skin gets cooler, it's your body protecting itself because it's putting more energy towards heating your core. So everything else comes secondary, including your skin. It's trying to keep your internal organs, your vital organs, warm. And when you start shaking, it's your body generating energy to stay warm. Now, if your shivering becomes uncontrollable,
Whoa.
that is a sure sign that hypothermia is starting to set in. After that, you start noticing that your fine motor skills aren't working well, like texting. You have a really hard time texting, maybe. You just can't function in those fine modes like that. And about the time you start shivering uncontrollably, you might notice that you're feeling fatigued or really tired or, even like delusional.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right on that one.
It's your mind, it's your brain shutting down because, your energy's going to other vital organs.
Hold on, wait.
Your brain's not very vital, right? Your pupils start to dilate and eventually you become unconscious. I've known some people who had hypothermia where their mind starts thinking they're hot, so they start taking off their clothes when they're really cold. So that's one of the kinds of things that can happen when you're just not thinking clearly. Unconsciousness is really one of the final stages before you just kind of drift off, fall asleep, and just, freeze to death.
Tell it like it is, brother.
I guess that's the way to say it. So just be aware of these signs. Be aware of what happens with hypothermia. And what can you do if you notice this kind of thing? Start moving around. Start doing stuff. If start chopping wood. Start sawing wood. Start setting up your camper. Just walking around in circles. Start a fire. You need to get warm and get warm as fast and as quickly as you can. So just keep moving. If you have wet clothes on, that's really not a good thing. You need to get out of those wet clothes and get into dry clothes. If you don't have any dry clothes but you have a sleeping bag, get naked and get in your sleeping bag. If you can cuddle up with somebody else to get your body warm, do that. The idea is just get warmer and whatever way you can and get into dry stuff. Let's talk about clothes. So I was out here earlier chopping some wood and I started to sweat. First sign when you start to sweat, start taking layers off because you don't want any of your clothes wet because it'll stay wet, for a while. So try not to sweat. If you start sweating, take off layers. If you start to get a little cool, start putting on layers. That's the game we play out here. A lot of times I'll be taking off layers and on layers all day just to control, how much I sweat and to control that body heat. And of course, the clothes you should bring are just layers and layers and layers, right? Right now I have 1, 2, 3. I have 3 layers on right now, and I have 4, 5. I have 3 more layers I could put on if I want to out here. You want a moisture wicking layer, you want an insulation layer, maybe you want a puffy, maybe you want an outer shell to keep the wind off, some kind of windproof thing. So just think about those kind of layers and bring those with you. You know what? Even if you don't think you'll need them. I'm out here today, and the coldest it's supposed to get is maybe just a little bit below freezing. So being in Colorado, that's pretty warm in January. So, but I brought with me 6 layers, and that's just in case, because you just never know. So be prepared for it. So if you like these kind of things, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and like. Comments. I always like comments. Maybe you had a hypothermia experience or a really close call. I like to hear that, because we want to keep people informed. Tell us what your experience was and how you did, or maybe you knew someone who was going through it and how you helped them out. I think that'd be really cool. Put that stuff down below, and I'll see you on the trail. Appreciate you.